came early. Wanted to see my old friend. He's been ducking me for 30 years. I missed him.
It don't look like you're missing any meals. I'm out of here.
No, you're not.
An unsettled score coaxes two long-retired boxers back into the ring. Sylvester Stallone and Robert De Niro star in the sports comedy Grudge Match. Your movie friend Aaron Dicer joining us this morning with two segments today.
Fun.
Look at the Dice Man.
Lots of movies.
First of all, Grudge Match.
Yeah.
So, good, bad, ugly?
You know, this is one that you go to because you kind of want to see Rocky fight the Raging Bull. You know, it's De Niro and Stallone. It's a boxing movie. And
I like boxing movies.
Well, and in that regard, you know, the final match does deliver. The problem is getting there can be a little bit of a slog. It takes a while to develop, and it's supposed to be a comedy, and a lot of the laughs just don't land.
Right. Okay, so one of your favorite things about the movie was not necessarily Stallone or De Niro. You did like Funny Man, but overall not funny.
Yeah, Kevin Hart actually was one of my favorite things about this. He is really, really funny. You see him on screen right there with Alan Alda. Their interactions especially really have a life to them, and the movie needs that. Without him in this movie, it would have felt really draggy because I just don't think a lot of Stallone and De Niro's comedy works, but his definitely does. I really enjoyed Kevin Hart.
Okay, so you're going to this for like what, a drama and action?
No, it's supposed to be a comedy. It really is. There's not a lot of drama to it. You know, the boxing scenes, if you like boxing scenes, are okay. Again, it's really just at the end that those come through. So you're going to laugh, you know, you're going to it to laugh. I just think those laughs are going to be a little too far and few in between to really make a difference.
So were there a lot of throwbacks to Rocky?
There were a few, and they were cute and clever, but, you know, again, it doesn't really benefit the story to do those callbacks. It's just kind of a wink at the audience, and that's something that usually I don't necessarily get into. So, yeah.
All right. Best thing, worst thing overall grade on this?
Yeah, best thing, as I mentioned, Kevin Hart, Heart Attack. He's amazing in this. Really, really enjoyed him.
Don't worry, he spelled that right.
Yeah, that is correct. That is his name.
Heart Attack?
It's a pun. Worst thing, I would say, another pun, the punch lines. They just don't land their punch lines.
I like that one.
And as far as the overall grade, we'll go with a C+.
Okay, cool. Movie number 2.
Yep.
Perhaps I can contact you, possibly through my poetry falcon.
Poetry Falcon. I like that.
See, those are funny people. A daydreamer escapes his everyday life by disappearing into a world of fantasy. The short story, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, gets the big screen treatment thanks to Ben Stiller. So give us the scoop. Ben Stiller directed this. How do you do?
Ben Stiller is, I think, a decent director. Unfortunately, I think he paces this movie way too slow. Now, you see those people, and like you said, these are very funny people. You have Kristen Wiig in there. Ben Stiller's really funny. Adam Scott, who you may know from Parks and Recreation. These are funny people, but because he's trying for something, I think, really serious and dramatic. I mean, he wanted Oscar nominations with this movie. He really did. I think he paces it just too slow, and it kind of loses a little of that verve and excitement that it can have just because of kind of those fantasy scenes.
Verve, I like that word. Okay, so there's already a movie based on this story. Would you recommend that one?
Yeah, Danny Kaye, I think in the 40s, put out a version of this, and Danny Kaye is amazing. If you do a YouTube search for the Symphony of the Unstrung Tongue from that movie, it is one of it's one of the greatest 7 minutes you'll spend on YouTube. He's incredible in that. The movie overall
big claim right there.
Well, the movie overall is great, the older movie, but they're very different movies. They are absolutely very different movies, so you have to kind of judge this one on its own.
Yeah, he is hilarious though, this guy. So
Ben Stiller?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's really funny, and that's kind of the sad part of this movie is he doesn't get a chance to really be funny, and when he does, it almost feels like it slips into parody.
Right.
You know, instead of an actual dramatic movie, so the tone kind of suffers in that way.
Okay, so best thing, worst thing, and overall grade on this
Best thing about this was the visual flair. When they go into those scenes of fantasy, it is really beautiful to look at on screen, and they do a great job of visualizing that. The worst thing, I said false identity, and what I mean by that is you never really get a sense of who this guy is. And because you never really connect with this character because of the way it's played, it makes it really hard to root for him in a lot of ways. So that's what I mean by that. And as far as the overall grade, I'd say a C.
Average.
Yep.
Too average. Okay.
Yeah, this weekend has been a fairly average weekend for movies. A lot of the great stuff has already come out.
Okay.
So.
Well, it is Christmas, so there are a lot of movies, loaded with
Absolutely.
new movies. So Aaron will be back in the next half hour to tell us about a few more. Stay with us.